Hey guys, how's it going? Octopus here, welcome back to Union Cross. Finally, after a couple days of silence, Friday no updates, Saturday no updates, Sunday was just a free draw, which is really cool, not just. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing but VIP and Union Cross, and now we finally got a banner in the Global and JP side. But on the JP side, they got a high score challenge, so we should be seeing a high score challenge for Friday, which I'm very, very excited for. So finally, after a couple days of just nothing happening, things are starting to pick up again since the anniversary. You guys are gonna see a couple cuts like this in the video as I go. I have the hiccups and it's just really kicking in when I talk. I'm gonna start off with Sora and Riku first. And then I'm gonna go into the high score challenge and new avatar board and everything that JP has that we should be seeing tomorrow. So let's start off Sora and Riku, the banners. The banners themselves, again, these are really good because these banners are basically mercy pulls of 6 or lower. For every Riku or Sora medal you guys have is 3,000 jewels off of these pulls. So if you already have 2 copies, all you gotta do is pull 4 times, that's 12,000 jewels. If you have 1 copy, that's 15,000 jewels. These are basically mercy pulls and they come with a guaranteed trait every single pull plus 10 VIP coins, which equals 2 more traits in their avatar boards. So these banners, as a player who doesn't have a good upright power or upright speed medal, absolutely great because the medals are strong. I'm gonna show you examples what they do compared to. They're not on the top of the list, so if you guys already have an upright power or an upright speed medal with good traits or decent traits, you really don't need these medals. But for a newer player, if you already have your Kairi and Shion, you can kind of focus on these instead of these banners up here, but I still think these banners are worth it with the falling price deal compared to this. You'd rather go for these because Kira 20, one of the best medals in the game right now because how much general strength it starts off with. You've got a great tanking medal, buffers and attackers on the boy in black and the boy in white. And then, like I said, Kairi and Shion, if you don't have it, you should be going for this banner instead of this banner down here. But if you already have Kairi and Shion and you already have very good reverse power and upright magic, then you can focus on this. Now, I only recommend this if you need an upright speed medal for your Starlight, Stroke of Midnight, your Fairy Stars. If you do need a good upright speed medal, you can go for this. If you missed TVA, if you missed Ventus, if you missed the Sora and Riku medal that just passed by, then this medal will take kick in and take that spot for you. Now, Sora though, upright power is not really powerful right now, so that's a different story. I wouldn't really go for this at all, period, because if you do, he's going to be on your pet slot on the best Keyblades, and if he's not on your pet slot, you're using a Keyblade that most likely isn't really good for the meta currently. Yes, there is Keyblades for upright power like Fenrir. You have Darkgnaw, you have Olympia. There is upright power slots. It's just the other slots don't compare to the Keyblades I just mentioned, so you kind of want to focus on those ones. In JP though, it's a little bit different because JP, you do have the new Keyblade, and once that Keyblade comes out fully maxed out, that last slot is a power slot, so it's going to be a different story. But for Global, we don't know when we're going to get that story update. So medal wise and banner wise, really good. If you don't have anything else you need to go for, if you don't have an upright speed slot filled in already properly, then yeah, these banners are great. A mercy pull that gets cheaper depending on what you have, and if you don't, it's maximum of 18,000 with plenty of traits to get perfect traits. And then on top of that, you also get a powerful medal for a specific slot, so you're not chasing 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. If you need an upright speed, boom, upright speed, you got it. So Sora and Riku are not the only 2 medals that could be upgraded right now. Cloud over here, my first powerful medal in the game that got me into a good high score challenge, is upgradable, including the update for Sora and Riku. So you can upgrade Cloud if you have enough, just like Sora and Riku. Now, Cloud is not going to be a banner. He's going to be part of VIP next week, I believe. They might throw in a banner, but there is a specific notice that says it's going to be in VIP for the JP side anyway. So look forward to that if you do want Cloud. So those are the 3 that we can upgrade right now, and they are organized under Tier 9, no longer Tier 4. So you got to look for them in your Tier 9 section, just like the Sora and Riku, but they don't classify as a Tier 9 until you upgrade them, even though it says Tier 9 already. So what do these medals do? How strong are they? Starting off with Sora. Sora, when you evolve him into 7-star upgraded Supernova Plus, he is going to be pretty good for his buffs and debuffs. These medals, Sora and Riku, do not give any general strength up or general defense down from their activation of their normal attack. But what they do is upright attack by 10, upright strength by 10. You got power strength maxed out at 15. You increase every medal, including himself's guilt, by 180%, which is really good to have on a medal as a standard. Targets defense down for upright by 10 and power defense down by 15. So he gives 10 uprights for your strength, 10 defense down for upright on the enemy, and then maxed out power buffs and debuffs on the enemy. His Supernova, when made into Supernova Plus, right now it's 160. When you Supernova Plus him, it'll go to 200 multiplier for damage. What he does for his activation is actually pretty good because he applies strength and upright strength and power strength by 10. He gives general strength by 10, which is really good because there's medals that are going to have like those techniques in between, revenge values, counters that are probably going to debuff us, or they're going to remove debuffs on themselves. So you want to have those medals with supernovas that give you more buffs and debuffs to just fix everything up so you're not screwed halfway through a Keyblade with no general strength. So that's Riku. That's Sora. Riku is the speed version of Sora. His Supernova is a little different, but for his buffs, I can't really show you here. He's going to have upright strength by 10, upright defense down by 10 on the enemy, and then for speed strength, 15 up, speed defense down by 15. So he's the same thing as Sora, but for speed. The difference between Sora and Riku, Sora resets the enemy's counters, where Riku actually increases enemy counters by a +1. So Sora's a little bit more tricky. If you use a medal after him that doesn't ignore enemies' counters, you might be a little screwed over on those enemies that have one counter to start off with. So all those counters increase you did with your other medals. Once you activate Sora, it goes back down to 1. If the next medal has nothing that ignores enemies' counters, then you're going to get hit. It's good and bad because you can use that for a strategy. If you use Sora on your pet slot and then your friend slot activates the counter and then it resets you back to the starting because of second chance or HP recovery, you can skip the enemy's turn and make your buffs carry all over. So not a bad idea, especially because it's upright power. You want that to sit on the pet slot. For the Supernova Plus on Riku, if I could show you guys, I would. He does the opposite, where Sora buffs, he debuffs the enemy's upright, general defense, and speed defense down by 10. So you got that general defense down by 10. Again, medals with Supernova with the activation of debuffs and buffs are really good for battles that really screw you over. He's got the general defense down by 10. Sora's got the general attack up by 10. So a pretty interesting duo. If you have both of them on your Keyblade, you can fix some weird spots on your Keyblade that an enemy might debuff you. So it fixes that, or they take away their buffs, it also fixes that as well. Now, Cloud is just straight up DPS. When you evolve him to a 7-star and Supernova Plus, that's going to go to a 220 multiplier for his Supernova. It only does damage, has no buffs or debuffs. For his actual activation, he gives you upright strength by 15, special attack activation 770, targets defense and power defense down by 15. So his normal activation, when you just attack with him, actually applies defense down by 15. Max out general defense. Really, really good to have an attacking medal. There's not many of them in the game, and to have one that's so cheap is really cool. If you already have them, if not, you have to get VIP, and that's a different story. Not so cheap then. But general defense down by 15 on a multiplier of 60. Really, really good pet slot. Or if you are using the upright power slots from other Keyblades, he's going to fit there very nicely. Now, let's compare them all to some medals that are already in the game. And like I said, upright power for the Cloud and the Sora, you don't really need it. You don't have to buy VIP, and you don't have to pull for Sora if you're using 3 Wishes, Starlight, or the Stroke of Midnight, because those Keyblades work really well, but they don't have an upright power slot unless you use a pet slot. If you don't have anything in your pet slot right now, that's good. Then you can obviously do that instead. But for other medals compared to the game, let's start off with Sora and Riku. Riku is an upright speed. We just got an upright speed AoE medal that has a better multiplier, 15.47, that maxes out at 58.79. Again, you need higher HP, but that's not hard to pull off. 58.79 is 3 multiplier better, and when you get to the general strength, they have pretty much the same general strength, except that Riku has 1,000 more strength than the Sora and Riku medals. So that does make a little bit of difference compared to the multiplier and the general strength. You get an extra plus 1,000 trait with the Riku. But if you already have this Sora and Riku, it's not that big of a difference that you should be replacing it. Godform Sora, again, starts out with 16,000. That's 19,000 compared to 21,000 once you put the chips on. So that's 2,000 strength difference, but this multiplier is way bigger. And it generally does balance out, but when you get to high tier Coliseum or higher enemies, you want more general strength in there. Yes, this multiplier will multiply it, so again, you don't have to switch up just for that Riku if you already have the Godform Sora. Now, the same goes for any other medal that's in your game that's upright speed, but when you drop down to AoE, Final Fantasy Lightning, Final Fantasy Record Keeper Lightning, she's got an AoE multiplier of 47.20. Higher slot number, so she has to be in slot 5 or 6. So already the Riku is better than this Lightning. So if you do guys want to replace Lightning, you can, but her buffs and debuffs are incredible. I'd rather just keep her in there. If you already have her perfect traits, you don't have to replace it. But that new Riku is stronger when it comes to the AoE and the damage. Not the buffs and the debuffs, but the damage for sure. Now Sora upright power, there's not much you guys compare to it except for the new medal, the Youth in White. Basically, he's got an AoE multiplier of 49.70 as long as you have a full party. Not too far off, but the new Sora is stronger. Again, AoE of 55. So anything you guys are looking at over here, that Sora does better right about over here with the Sora and the Riku. 55 multiplier is pretty good. Now, when you look at single target though, you are looking at Cloud now. Upright power for Cloud. Cloud is better than Terra, HD Terra. HD Terra's got a base multiplier of 19,000, where that Cloud does have the 21,000 base multiplier once you get him up there with chips. So you're comparing him right above the Birth by Sleep medals. 60 multiplier with general defense down, where these medals don't have general defense down. It does make a difference sometimes, but as long as you have your buffers and your debuffers in the beginning, it's not too big of a deal. So the medals are good. If you, like I said, if you want an upright power medal, Cloud is pretty decent. He's actually really good. The other two medals are already outclassed-ish, kind of, not really, because that extra plus 1,000 does make up for the little bit of a multiplier. So it's up to you guys what you need. If you guys have Ventus, again, Riku doesn't need to be replaced. If you do have the TVA, Riku doesn't need to be, you don't have to use Riku as a replacement. You guys can just skip out. So they sit pretty decently, those two medals and the Cloud. So it all depends what you guys have. They're not the strongest, but they're not the weakest either. The medals are pretty decent. If you guys are going to go for them, just make sure you are replacing a good slot already. Like if you don't have anything for the upright speed with good traits, it's a perfect time to get those traits. If you want something for upright power, it's a good time to specifically go for that. But it seems like there's going to be a common trend going on. If you guys don't want these, you want to wait for better medals to come out to be upgraded from older to newer, then you can do so if you're already passing the content. But if you need some new heavy hitters, the general strength's pretty high. It's not the best. KR20 has 25,000 with chips. These guys have 21,000. There's a difference there. So be ready for that power creep with the general strength. Me personally, I am going to skip on all this. If I do have the medals already or I pull them as I go, I'll consider it. But without traits, it doesn't really matter. The banner and that avatar board is what makes these medals good because you can roll a lot of traits for cheap. So with that being said, let's jump into the rest of the topic of High Score Challenge and avatar boards coming out. I'm looking forward to these. Sally and Boo. Really, Solly and Boo, sorry, are looking forward to this big time. This is really good. Monster Inc., love it. And then we got a High Score Challenge with gems. There's like 93 gems in total, I believe. Robloid, thank you for all the translations, buddy. I really do appreciate it. He did translate this, and it says that there's a total of 93 gems for high ranking in the High Score Challenge. This High Score Challenge is different. What you're going to be doing this High Score Challenge, there isn't 3 paths like magic, speed, and power. What there is, though, is one path is ground enemies and the other path is aerial enemies. So they're making it specific towards, do you have negative 60 traits for aerial or do you have negative 60 traits for ground? That way you can choose what path you're going to and you'll do maximum damage to everything. This is good and it's bad all at the same time, depending on your trait luck, especially when you're doing those specific medals for the High Score Challenge, the bonus medals. I don't think it shows it here, but it's like the new medals I just talked about, Aqua, all the medals you pulled for recently, plus a Dark Side VIP are in there. I'm going to check it for Global tomorrow. I'm going to keep you updated on all this, but that's a little sneak peek. 93 gems sounds pretty cool to me. It's not a new medal, but we do need gems. Gems are better than medals on the long run because you do want to get your Keyblades to plus 40 or all your Keyblades that are special that you want to use to 35 at least. So the more gems in the game, the better. And if I can earn it just because I had medals already to compete in the High Score Challenge, even better. So it's a pretty cool High Score Challenge. I'm looking forward to it to see how that works. The aerial and the ground, pretty straightforward. If you have the traits for aerial, go aerial. If you have the traits for ground, go ground. We're going to see how tough the enemies are tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And pretty much the rest of this is just bugs fixes. There's the bug fix about the anti-Aqua in, what do you call it? In PvP, she was causing issues, and it explains here pretty much what happened. So if you are hit with more than 2.1 billion damage, there's a bug where Reflect will only deal back at most 2.1 billion. If you're attacking in PvP with combo attack and the enemy activates reflect and a defense skill, there is a bug where the combo attack damage that is reflected is not correctly reduced by the defense skill, resulting in more damage reflected than what was received. And there's also a bug where raid bosses damage cannot be reflected. So they're fixing all these bugs. A lot of people updated this, pretty much talking about how Aqua was dealing more damage she was supposed to, and that's because the combo from the pets, when it activated, the defense skill didn't block it. So there's more damage than necessary going through. So that should be fixed now, for JP at least. For global, it should be fixed because we got an update before we logged in for all this. So all that should be patched up. But that's pretty much it, guys. The rest of it I'll be talking about tomorrow. The avatar boards, the high score challenge, do my runs, looking at all the new stuff. So hopefully we get some high scores in the high score challenge. I didn't really pull for most of these medals, so I don't know how that's going to go. But let me know if you guys are going for Sora, Riku, what you guys are doing. Are you skipping, saving like I am? I'm almost hitting 40K on my main account. Free to play count, you guys just saw it, was sitting at 24,000 jewels. And I'm just going to keep going up because I already got all my Keyblade slots with the perfect traits going on. I'm going to see how long those medals are going to last me, and I'm not going to replace them. Even though my Final Fantasy Record Keeper Lightning's a 47 multiplier, and that new one has more strength and more multiplier, as long as Record Keeper Lightning is still doing her job and taking down these events, there's no point in me pulling. Same thing goes for you guys. You should do the same and wait for a proper banner to come out that is going to replace, like, by a long shot. Like, if we're talking from 47 to 67 or 70, I'd consider that if the banner is good. But for now, if you're passing content, there's no point in spending jewels. Just remember, fill up that Keyblade every slot, get the perfect traits for each of those slots, and then you can sit back and start saving jewels. Takes a while, but once you do it, you feel pretty good. But that's everything, guys. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.